Next up, she's fairly new to the game of golf, but she's amassed a huge following for her very goofy golf journey. We had a chance to collaborate earlier this year in Texas as well. It's Piff Golfs joining us on the Course of Life. Piff, how you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing so great. It's nice to get to connect with you again. As he mentioned, he was one of my first deals that I got to kind of collab with. So it's nice to get to meet you again, hang out with you again.
Definitely, yeah. We're back here later in 2025, and you continue to grow your audience, posting your golf journey as your game gets better too, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I'm curious, growing up, I know you're fairly new to playing golf intently. Did you play much golf growing up, or what kind of sports were you into growing up?
Absolutely not. Golf was actually never on my radar at all. Growing up, I was always into swim team, big time swimmer. So swim team was my core focus my whole life, as well as dance. But when it came to golf, no one I knew played it. I came from a very small town, low income town, kind of one of those one red light country towns where not a lot of people could afford to play golf where I'm from unless you were those what do they call them? Snowbirds that come into town. We have
yes.
Hit in Highlands and Cashers. So it just wasn't really on my radar. Although one of my biggest regrets is I sure wish it was, because I would be a lot better now if I had started in high school or college.
Definitely. So I guess, was there ever, what were your original impressions of golf that kept you from playing when you were younger? I'm curious, looking back.
Yeah, well, when I say it wasn't on my radar at all, it wasn't even something that came up for me to say, oh, that's not for me. But when I did think of golf, I always just kind of saw it as maybe a slow old man sport.
Yes.
It's something where I had never watched it on TV. I had never seen it in person. I didn't know anyone who played. So I just kind of saw it as something slow and something for maybe the old timers.
Yeah, that's a stigma that's been going around a long time in the game of golf. And that was kind of still there when I was a kid. A little bit of it was still there, but like the last, I would say 5-10 years has like removed a lot of that. And the game has opened up with so many different avenues, especially with the type of content that you're creating as well too. So now let's flash forward to a couple of years ago. What was the moment, or was there a specific moment where you actually picked up a golf club and tried it and dawned on the idea that I actually like this? Wow, interesting.
Yeah. So I actually, right after college, I moved to Florida, and I was a beach girl, true and true. My hobbies involved anything in the ocean, diving, longboarding, skating. I was very much a beach bum. Fast forward to right when I started golf, I had just moved to Texas. And I get to Texas and I realize, what am I supposed to do here? I can't do any of my hobbies. I can't go to the beach. I'm in the concrete jungle. There's nowhere for me to skate or longboard or do anything. And I don't know anybody. So I'm thinking, what's something that I can do that just it's a one-man show? I thought of golf. There was a range nearby. There was East River 9, which if you're local to Houston, it's a really cool par 3 course.
Okay, nice.
That was nice, low barrier to entry. So
definitely
went to East River 9, stepped out on the range on some borrowed clubs. And within that first swing, looking back, those swings that I thought were great definitely weren't. But all it takes is a couple of decent hits for me to be like, wow, this is really cool. This is something. So after the range, I had already paid to play the 9 holes, the par 3. Played terrible, but it was so much fun. I had a couple promising moments where I am so competitive. I've always been competitive. Like I have something to prove. So I was like, I got to come back. And that's what I did. It was just immediate. I kept coming back to the range every single night after work, because another big piece is I work from home. So I was dying for a reason to get out of the house. Yeah. That's what I wanted so bad. I wanted to make friends and I wanted to get out of the house. And having this thing of I can go to the range by myself and just whack some balls, blow off some steam, and try and teach myself this game became this saving grace of getting fresh air, getting outside, getting to meet new people, and getting to learn this game that's just blew up with amazing experiences and opportunities for me. Golf has changed my life in more ways than I ever expected, from a psychological health to physical health, opportunities, friendships, so much more.
Yeah, you talked about that a little bit in your content, Piff_Golfs on Instagram as well, too, if you want to check her out. The journey to how you felt, what you looked like inside and out before and after golf. People don't always associate, taking up golf with those changes. But talk to me how taking up golf helped you kind of make those changes to yourself in the last couple of years.
Yeah. So again, back to working from home, I found myself in this downtown Houston 700 square foot apartment, very sedentary work from home lifestyle. Didn't have a reason to really go out. Sometimes you get in those funks where it's hard to go to the gym, and I felt like I didn't have things to do. And suddenly, once I'm getting into golf and going to the range every night, it inspired this thing in me to where back as a kid, I was so athletic. I was always the athlete, always into swim team, and dance was my thing. I played it every single year. And all of a sudden I felt that spark again. It just flipped a switch in me to where I wanted to work on my body and get that athlete physique back and work on my health. And I wanted to get better at the game, which means I wanted to get stronger. I wanted to get more flexible, more fit, and just improve my body so that I could improve my game. And so that's really where it started. And it's, I'm not going to say that playing golf alone is what helped me, reshape my body. But since playing golf over the last year and a half, I've lost 30 pounds. I've become in the best shape of my life. And I'm really happy and excited to keep carving out these muscles.
Definitely. Yeah. Love to hear that. And you're right about the idea of what golf does, and also helps with life. Golf is very hard to perfect, but you can get better at it incrementally. And I think that goes for a lot of things in life. Is you may not have the perfect mindset or the perfect body that you expect, but you can get better day by day. And that's how working on your golf game is kind of a reflection of life. So it's been cool to see that progress, and your content has reflected in a really fun and energetic way. One thing that I think is interesting is you've actually been able to use a little bit for people who may be interested in starting an account or personality online of their own. You've been able to use some professional experience of yours from the workplace and influence that into your content. Explain that to people.
Yeah. So since the moment I got out of college, I've been in marketing and branding. And so I've got over 10 years of experience in building personal brands and scaling other people's businesses. And kind of how it came to be with Piff Golfs, I have a personal account, actually. And one day when I started golf, what I was using as a tactic to teach myself is I would actually record myself at the range so that I could watch my swings back in slow motion and compare it to stuff I was seeing on social media and try and figure out what I was doing wrong. Well, about 2 or 3 weeks in, I'm like, gosh, I have a lot of videos here. How cool would it be if I just started posting these and making an online diary so that I could look back in a year and see how far my swing has come? That was the honest thing. It was never supposed to be Piff Golfs. It was just a personal diary separate from my friends and family where I felt I could just be creative and not worry about what other people were thinking. Well, next thing I know, as soon as I start posting, I start getting a lot of followers really, really quickly. Within about 2 months, I'm up to 5,000 followers. And I go, okay, we have something here. I think it's time to treat myself like one of my clients. Let's go ahead. Proof of concept. This is something. Let's just go ahead and full send and implement all the knowledge I know from my marketing and branding history. And so as soon as I started doing that, things started kicking up pretty quickly. And next thing you know, within my first year, I had completed over 30 brand deals. I was signed by Wilson, got to do a lot of cool collaborations, including the one where I met you. And it's just been really cool to kind of take my marketing and branding knowledge and build a strategy that I had full creative control of. Because when you have clients, you get to create a strategy, but you're stuck within certain realms because they want a particular outcome and they have a brand that you need to stick to. And so being able to kind of flip all of my knowledge on its head and say, we're just going to do whatever I want to do has been the most fun and rewarding experiment.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see you put that into your account. And I have to thank you because I've been posting for a while on social media, but I didn't quite have the direction that I needed to. And you helped teach me personally a lot about things like the algorithm and ideal times to post and these little things that people may overlook when they're just throwing something up on Instagram and they don't see it get recognized by as many people as they'd like to. But all those things have helped you grow into what you've done as well, too. So thank you for that as well.
I love to hear that. I'm happy it's working for you.
Definitely. You mentioned the Wilson Golf Partnership, and that's a brand that people know a lot in a lot of different spaces for different sports. But explain to me how the partnership came about and what you enjoy most about rocking the brand's gear.
Yeah, so you're right there. I think when people think of Wilson Sporting Goods, they associate it with a sporting goods company and think of equipment or the movie Castaway. But recently, within the last few years, Wilson has actually launched a really beautiful collection of apparel. And they started with 5 flagship stores throughout the U.S. And one of them happened to be here in Houston. So when I moved to Houston and I was shopping at the Galleria Mall, I walked into the Wilson one day and it became my favorite store because it's exactly my style. It's like old, classic, varsity, timeless, vintage sports apparel that just are great investment pieces that anyone can wear. And so I'd actually been shopping there for a while. I was an OG fan. And within, I'd say, about 6 months of me shopping there, I had an event coming up where I was filming a YouTube episode with Inspire Play. So I was like, I need to go get me some outfits for this. And my big YouTube debut. And I walk in, and that day I happen to get scouted. They come up to me because I've got handfuls, both arms full of clothes. And they go, "Are you an athlete by chance?" And I'm like, "Well, I play golf, but I can't
define athlete."
Yeah. And they're like, "Okay, well, when you check out, we need to talk to you about something." I said, "Okay." So I pick out my outfits. I'm like, "All right, I want to hear what you have to talk about." They let me know that they were launching this new program where they wanted to find a local influencer within the sports realm to rep each of these 5 flagship stores across the United States to help bring awareness to the fact that they have these new awesome clothes. Because like I said, people just think of Wilson as an equipment company. And so that's really how it started, was getting scouted in the store. And within that opportunity, they signed me on as a Wilson ambassador. And I host quarterly events with them within the store to help promote the clothes. They've been an awesome support system within my golf journey. I made some great connections there. It's just been such a fun experience. And I love that it was a brand that I already loved to begin with, so
very natural partnership. Yeah.
Such an authentic fit, which is really important to me and the work that I do. So I just love it so much. I couldn't have asked for a better match.
Love that. Yeah, you're definitely up to date in the latest and greatest fashion in the golf course, and you're always rocking a very new and innovative outfit. You're always bringing something new to the table, which I appreciate. So I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. I'm curious, is there a golfer professionally or someone you see online? Could be an LPGA player, could be a PGA Tour player. Whose style are you digging recently in golf?
I will say, this may sound like the easy answer, but she's a rock star. I am a Nelly Korda fan. True. I love that she's got one of my new favorite things. Well, it's not too new, but that she has these orange shoes that she came out with that have the gold charm on it. I love that she just puts this unique spin on things. She's got such a great it girl style. I love the personality she brings. I think a lot about it's not just the clothes you wear, but the girl in the clothes. And so I just really like Nelly and everything she stands for.
Yeah, she's got that quiet poise and confidence that just it immerses in like every room she walks into. So it's been really cool to see the evolution of her with the fashion brands as well too. One other thing I wanted to touch on regarding your social media presence is I did try and invite Peggy Putz to this interview, your alter ego, but I think she was too busy. Tell me a little bit about Peggy Putz and how the idea originated for that character.
Oh my gosh. So I am someone where I will just get a random idea for content and I have to execute it.
Yes, I've seen that.
I happened to be just playing golf one day, and while I was on the course, I got this idea. I had just happened to purchase a mullet recently. And so it was for a previous piece of content that I was posting, long story. But I had this mullet in my back pocket. And while I was playing golf one day, I just got the idea of how funny would it be if I threw on the mullet and put a, what are they? The tubes, you know what I'm talking about? I put it on my putters.
Correct. The pool noodles. Yes.
So I got this idea of like, how funny would it be to make a redneck video of a pool noodle golf grip? And yes. I'm like, okay, as soon as I get out of here, I am headed to the Dollar General. And I did. As soon as I was done playing golf that day on my way home, I stopped at the Dollar General and I picked up a pool noodle, duct tape, and a pack of cigarettes. And when I got home, the first thing I did, because like I said, when I have a video idea, I just have to execute it. So as soon as I got home, threw on the mullet, went out on the back porch, filmed my video of me installing a pool noodle as a golf grip on my putter, and I edited it and posted it. It was all done within the hour. And all of a sudden, it was starting to get a lot of attention. People were really, really liking it. And I'm like, okay, we have something here. So I loved it. I enjoyed making it. We got to come up with a part 2. And so I think part 2 was a bird actually happened to fly into, I have a TV on my back porch for watching sports. A bird had flew into it and cracked it. And so I had this TV. I go, I think I can work with this. So I propped the TV up and decided that I was going to shoot golf balls into it and make a DIY like golf simulator or golf range.
Yep.
And so that was video 2. And from there, I just kept pumping out ideas for Peggy Putz. And it's been so fun because comedy and making people laugh has been something that I've wanted to do since I was a kid. And she's my little redneck character piece of home because I'm definitely, it's like the inner Piff where I came from. Piff that you see now is the Piff after college, and Peggy is like my little piece of home that it's like you flip a switch and all of a sudden I'm back in North Carolina like I never left.
Yeah, there's some real country roots in that Peggy Putz character. And no matter what skit it is, whether it's a Piff Golf skit or a Peggy Putz skit, it's bound to make you laugh. They're all very entertaining. So be sure to follow her on Instagram as well, too. So I look forward to more of that content. I'm curious, do you get any reactions? Do you ever get any neighbors or any passersby seeing you film any of these ridiculous skits? What are the reactions like in the neighborhood for you?
Oh, well, I have to ask, what did you think? I think there was one time where you were actually coming to visit mid me making a Peggy Putz video, and I was outside with the leaf blower. And so I always have to wonder what my neighbors are thinking. I haven't had any visuals, people catching me visually besides you, but I just know from the other side of the fence, they have to be wondering what is going on at this house, because one minute it's completely normal and the next minute they're hearing this redneck voice cussing and making racket and noise. They've got to have lots of questions.
I was just shaking my head just like this. I was just like, there goes that girl again. What's she up to now?
Yeah, but I have no shame. I will say my biggest tip to anyone in the social media space, is be cringe, be different, because in a world where everyone is just trying to mirror each other and copy what's popular, what's going to be successful is being different. So don't be afraid to be different. Create for you first. And that's the magic. Create like a kid. Create for you first, not for anyone else.
Love it. Well said, Piff, indeed. All right, let's get to some fun questions here before we wrap up with our 19th hole question. Just some quick either ors, and then I wanted to ask about a recent trip you took. Let's just start real quick, easy either or question for you. On the weekends, would you rather watch a college football Saturday or an NFL Sunday?
NFL Sunday.
Okay, cool. And what's more nerve-wracking for you, walking in a fashion show or a first tee shot with a bunch of people watching?
First tee shot.
How was that experience walking in the fashion show you had recently?
Oh, I loved it. It was natural to me. That's something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm really confident in that.
Yep.
However, I have the worst stage fright when it comes to having something to prove on the golf course. I will say, if I am playing in front of people, you might as well add a couple strokes to my card, because it's going to be embarrassing.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Let's ask a Texas question that I like asking a lot of Texans or people that live in the state. Tacos or barbecue? You can only pick one.
Tacos.
And then you're doing a lot of travel. So if you get to choose a hotel room, would you rather have one king bed or two queen beds?
One king. I like to sprawl out.
Fair enough. One cool trip I wanted to ask about recently, too, is you had the opportunity to visit the Shangri-La Resort in Oklahoma, in a very interesting destination. When you look at the photos and videos from your trip, a lot of people wouldn't associate that type of destination with the state of Oklahoma. But tell me what it was like visiting there.
Oh my gosh, the coolest hidden gem. I did not expect that either. And when I tell you, so from Texas, it was about an hour and a half flight. And then there was about an hour and a half drive into the middle of nowhere. Once you're in, when my driver picked me up, he warned me, he's like, I promise I'm not kidnapping you. Just stick with me. And sure enough, you're driving through the sticks for like an hour and a half. It looks like Peggy Putt's Wonderland. There's like trailers and
she'd be at home. Yep.
Just all kinds of stuff. And then all of a sudden, it just opens up and it's Shangri-La, and they have beautiful resort, multiple golf courses, a huge, gorgeous lake. I got to ride on jet skis. I got to play all of their courses. They have an amazing 18-hole par 3 course, which was just nuts. Everything about it was super, super cool. And I will say the time of the year, gosh, when was I there? What month is it? I guess I was there in August. Pro tip, that is the time to go, because I tell you, I was the only one there. It was like I had the whole place to myself. So either not enough people know about this place yet, or August is prime time, but the weather was gorgeous, and I just felt like I owned the place. I was the only one there. It was so awesome.
Yeah, it looked like a great destination, like dangling over the water in Oklahoma, a really unique spot, Shangri-La. If you haven't heard about it, be sure to check it out for your next trip, indeed. Let's ask the 19th hole question based off that. It could have been there or somewhere else, but like, what's a really good 19th hole meal and drink you've had recently that you can share with us?
Oh, I have to actually say it was at Shangri-La, and what they had, it was the most delicious fried grouper sandwich. I felt like I was in Florida again. I'm a big, big fish girl, and since I moved to Texas, I feel like all we've got is steak and Tex-Mex. I mean, they know what they're doing when it comes to the meats here, but
right.
Fish, I haven't been that impressed with the fish here in Texas, but at Shangri-La, if I closed my eyes, I felt like I was back in Florida. It was the most delicious meal. It hit just right. It was great. Great little cocktail too, might I add, and beautiful ambiance. It was at this like castle at the end. So beautiful castle, eating a grouper sandwich with a cocktail overlooking the course. You can't ask for anything more.
Nice. That's the life indeed. It's Piff Golfs, Piff_golfs on Instagram if you want to follow along. Piff, thanks so much for hopping on the Course of Life, and we look forward to having you on again.
Yeah, thanks so much. Y'all, it was great getting to chat with you again.